We're here at Cars of Dreams with John Staluppi. We have a great announcement to make. John?
Well, we're going to be here in West Palm Beach selling 35 cars. You know, it's so much fun to be at Barrett-Jackson. It's so much fun to have everybody here to join us. And when you see this collection this time, it's incredible.
You've evolved into more cars you can drive with some great resto mods and customs, even Broncos that have had a Coyote put in them. So you've evolved so that you can take the cars out and drive them.
Yes.
And use them on a daily basis.
We have some of the finest resto mods going to be here. And you know, resto rods are fun because you know, you could drive them anywhere. They start all the time. They have air conditioner cars. They stop great. They're unbelievable. Even stock cars are great, the long as the cars are done properly. But some of the resto mods, they're my favorites. 58 Cadillac Eldorado Baritz. I mean, this car has an Escalade engine in it. This car has disc brakes in it. It drives like you cannot believe.
And some in the background here, the Camaros and that, resto modded, but done very nice. But I think there's other exciting news, and we'll be selling a lot of the automobilia that is also within the building here.
We have some of the finest memorabilia, and some of this stuff is incredible. We have authentic bumper cars that were reproduced to match my 62 Corvette, was my first Corvette I ever had. And these bumper cars have all state-of-the-art engines in them. They drive all the time. Every one of these trucks, cars, I mean, the detailing and what they have, you're gonna love them. And I can't wait for everyone to see these cars.
It's gonna be a great auction. John always brings some great cars, 35 of those cars, as John said. Let's take a look at them.
There's a 57 DeSoto. Look at this car. Look at the restoration done on this car.
Yeah, it's a $250,000 restoration. The amount of chrome on these cars, but the attention to detail in the restoration is phenomenal.
If you look at everything, the way they did, even the wires, the way they did the wires on this car, the way they redid all the lines on the car. I mean, this car, when it rubbed off the factory line, wasn't as beautiful as this is now. And even when you look at the interior in this car, I mean, this car is incredible, just incredible. Power seats, I mean, power windows.
Great the way the chrome work is done on the car. I love the interior in this. The carpet with the metallic glisten to
Even when
it.
you look at the back, the fins.
The moldings on it.
It's just incredible. I mean, what they did back then with these cars was incredible. It was like art.
And look at laser straight down the side.
And the paint job's incredible.
It's absolutely phenomenal. So this one is restored probably better than new, as you were saying.
Yep.
You know, coming from being a car restorer myself, we have these up on the block. I tell people, you haven't even paid for the paint job on the car yet. This is a $250,000 restoration.
At least.
Having had cars done. Now it's getting the labor and the parts. You can buy this car done. And done to the nines.
Greg, this car here is unbelievable. It's got an LS1 supercharged motor with all the newest pulleys and underneath chrome that they've done on this car.
They put an Edelbrock on top, but they hit it the way they did it.
I mean, when I first saw this car, I said, wow. I wasn't even sure what motor it was so impressive to me. And then when you come around and you look at the inside of this car, the seat was moved back, so if you want to get in here, you got plenty of room. Tilt wheel they put in here. Stingray interior that's dyed to match the color of the interior. This is real Stingray. And power windows. And then the paint on this car, it's like a fire mist gray. I mean, incredible. And they put the big brakes in the car, front and rear. I mean, you want to talk about a car, and then look at the size of them exhaust pipes coming out, Greg.
It's got to sound nasty.
Yeah,
four-wheel disc brakes, all modernized on the whole car.
This car you could take anywhere. You could drive it anywhere. I mean, this is a real resto mod.
This is the epitome of it. It's got a 4L60 automatic in it, so you got a 4-speed automatic. It is the best of the best, and the gentleman that builds these takes a lot of time to make sure that everything fits. His cars are well sorted out. Whenever he brings one to the auction, we tell people there's a few guys that build great cars, and he is one of them. You had a great eye when you picked this one out.
Oh, yeah. Greg, and here's a 57 Pontiac Bonneville fuel injection. This car was back then the epitome in the 57s. There's a real fuel injection car. And what's really crazy about this car has a Continental kit, which makes the car even longer than it was. Oh, and you look at the chrome on the side and you look at everything about this car. This is unbelievable car.
You know, you think of back in the 50s and this era, but what you just pointed out, the amount of chrome on these cars, but to find one in this condition with all these options and original fuel injected car, this is a very rare car restored to absolutely impeccable condition.
Absolutely, absolutely. And wherever home this winds up in, they're gonna love this car like we do.
Great car. So I don't know if a lot of people know the story of how you got into selling cars, but this is a part of your history right here.
That is correct. I started in the motorcycle business, Honda motorcycle business, and then they came out with the Honda cars. This car has a 380cc motorcycle engine in it, front wheel drive. I mean, when I first seen this car, I says, it looks like a pumpkin. But let me tell you, this car here back then was like record breaking. I mean, you couldn't get these cars. And when I first started selling these, it was during the energy crisis. So we had a gas shortage. I mean, when people seen this car, and guys would come in here, and I don't know if you could put your whole family here, but I mean, even for this size car, there's a lot of room in this car.
Well, it's a piece of your history, starting selling the Honda motorcycles out front of the gas station, evolving. Then they wanted you to sell some cars, and look what it led to.
This is a 58 Edsel station wagon. It's named after Edsel Ford, and this car was his car. This was his personal car. And the whole concept of this car was just incredible. From the headlights back to the interior and the wood panel on this car. And when you look at it, it had the roof rack. I mean, back then, everybody had to have a station wagon. I remember when I was a kid, my family had a station wagon. Pretty cool.
Yeah, this was the predecessor to the SUVs. Back then, everybody grew up in the station wagon, and everybody was trying to outdo themselves. This was Ford's high-end version of a station wagon with the push-button shifter, the iconic grille that an Edsel has.
And this is signed in the glove compartment by Edsel.
Very cool. Here's a very iconic car, a 1967 Shelby GT500. Now this is an early car because it has the inboard headlights, but what is the most striking thing is the Brittany blue paint job, which they're going to bring back for the 2023, as we understand, GT500, a heritage edition, a heritage back to this car. This is where it started. Beautiful. It's a piece of history right here. They made 438 of these GT500s in Brittany blue. This car comes with the data report that shows you everything about the car and impeccable restoration. But I just love this Brittany blue.
And it shows beautiful. The car just shows immaculate.
It is. It's a great restoration. It's automatic in it, so you can just take this car out and drive it and have fun with it.
Absolutely.
Well, we have a beautiful 69, but it has a 68 hood on it, so I'm imagining this is a resto mod.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This car here has a tilt wheel. It's got the curl-over suspension in the car. I mean, the interior has all custom fabricated consoles in the car. The engine compartment in this car is incredible.
Yeah, we were just looking at it. So look at how they hid the LS1 engine, has a 4L60 automatic tied to it, but it also has independent rear suspension in it, Corvette rear end in it. It has really got a lot of modifications done to the car. It came with a whole storyboard of just all the best parts.
And look at the paint, how this paint shines.
This
A brilliant
Viper
coverage.
two-tone, it's a clear coat, base coat.
This is a real resto mod.
It is. Here's a Bronco that from the outside, until we opened the hood, looks pretty stock, but they put a Coyote in it.
Yeah, a lot of guys are putting these Coyote motors in here. This car drives good. Stops good, unbelievable.
Coyote's a great engine. You have to do a lot of massaging to get them to fit in, especially under the stock hood. What I like is, other than the tires and wheels, it looks very stock from the outside, but when you open up the hood, let's check out the inside, because they did a great job in there too.
So this also has air condition, and it's got a tilt wheel.
Again, it looks very stock, but everything has been massaged on it. Very cool. Tell us the story on this.
Well, this was a charity car that I had bought, but it's a supercharged engine on the car. It's a V6 with the supercharger on it. This came with the complete light package,
These have actually been going up in value, not down.
and even the suspension that they put in this is incredible. They do with the high lift shocks and everything. I mean, it's done to the T's. And you get stuck in the mud, pull it out.
Yep.
Everybody knows that Barrett-Jackson has the finest quality cars, and they got a team of people that look at these cars. They know what they're doing. Let me tell you, this one's going to be a killer. And these cars are just going up in value, and you got to get them soon because you're not going to be able to buy them. So we'll see you then.
And the best part is they're all selling at no reserve at our April 2022 auction, the 7th through the 9th, selling cars of dreams. Make it here.